Got it.
Wonderful. Okay. Welcome to our October Rockstars Mega Class. We're so excited to have you guys here tonight. We've got some great recipes to share with you and some great presenters to do just so. So if you have any questions as we go along, please type them in the chat box and we will get them answered as we can. And then also please let us know that you're here. Let us know who you are and who invited you. And then we will be sure to be able to share those recipes with you as well if you don't already have them. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it off to my first presenter who happens to be in my kitchen tonight. I'm so excited. So Tina, come and take it away with your amazing salsa recipe.
Okay. All right. So I am so excited. This is a recipe that we have had in our repertoire for a long time. And every time we make it at a class, everyone loves it and they all want the recipe. So you're in for a treat here if you haven't seen this one before. This is our San Marzano salsa. And it is so easy. And you know, this time of year, all of a sudden now our beautiful tomatoes are waning and there's no more beautiful garden tomatoes. And so our trick to make the best salsa is to use San Marzano tomatoes from Italy. They're always delicious. They're in a can. You can buy them anytime at the grocery store and they make the best salsa. So what I've done already is taken them out with a slotted spoon, or you can drain it in colander. You don't want too much of the liquid. So we're mainly using the tomatoes. I've already, and you're going to do it in batches because it's a 28-ounce can, so there's a lot of tomatoes. So we've got our Eco Chop, which is on special right now, and our Eco Chop never goes on special because it's one of our favorite accessories, but guess what? Never say never, because it is on special right now, regularly $49 for $40. So that is such a and everyone needs. I have like 3 in our kitchen, and Teresa, you probably have 3 or 4. Right? Anyway, so we put the tomatoes in. I already did half of the can, and we're just a few pulls. I mean, you want to just chop it up a little bit, very easy, very quick. I mean, that's it. You know, a few little chunks of tomatoes left, just perfect. All right, and we're just going to pour that into our bowl here. And then we're going to add all of the flavors that go into a delicious salsa. So I have cut up things already here. We're going to add, and I'm going to do this in 2 batches. So I have 2 scallions. I'm doing half of it. I have a half of a red onion. I'm doing half of it. We're doing 2 garlic cloves. So I have 1 garlic clove there. And we're doing 1 whole jalapeno pepper that we have seeded and deveined. And if you like it more spicy, you can leave the seeds and the veins in. We like it a little less spicy. And so, and then I have 1/3 cup of cilantro. And one thing that people don't always realize is that our Eco Chop is also a mini salad spinner. So we washed the cilantro and then we dried it with our basket without the blade, of course. And so it's perfectly dried cilantro. We're going to put about half of that in. And then we're just going to process this. You know, some people like salsa really chunky and other people like it really finely done. So I'm going to kind of go in between on this. Now let's, here we go, a couple more pulls. I mean, it's all to your preference, how chunky or not you like it, but look at that. I mean, I put all that in there and it's perfect. It's beautiful. So we're going to do, oh, could I have a little mini spatula, please? I forgot to grab one of those.
Not a problem.
Yeah, we have our amazing duo of mini spatulas. Honest to gosh, every single night that I cook, I use these for something. And a lot of times it's to get stuff out of the Eco Chop because we use it every single night too. All right. So scrape all that out and then we're going to do 1 more batch.
Oh my gosh, it smells amazing.
Doesn't it smell so good? All those flavors going in. So delicious. Okay. Now we're going to just put the blade back in. 1 more batch. And this is And you know, it is so flavorful and so delicious, but if there's other flavors that you like in your salsa, you can also change it up. I mean, whatever is your favorite. And a lot of people like a lot more spice than our family. I like the spice, but I have to be very careful because my family isn't very spicy. All right, I think this is looking good. Couple more pulls. This little arm workout. And what we love about the EcoChop also is how easy it is to clean. It is so quick and easy versus that food processor that is a little tricky to clean. All right, so we're just scraping all this in. Yeah, it just smells absolutely delicious.
It does. It smells amazing.
So good.
Smells
I
so
can't
good.
wait to eat it.
Me too.
And really, this is what's so great about this too. You can make it ahead and it really gets better as it marinades all those flavors together. And it will last in the fridge. What would you say? Probably a week or so?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
easily,
yeah.
easily.
easily. All right. Oh, I forgot to put the extra cilantro in there. Okay, that's all right. No harm. We'll just
No
do
harm, no
that.
foul.
We'll do that after the fact because
Perfect.
we want to keep moving here. All right.
Yeah.
So now we're going to add 3/4 of a teaspoon, or I'm sorry, a whole teaspoon of smoked paprika. Yummy, yummy. And 3/4 of a teaspoon of cumin. And I am going to confess, I love cumin, so I might have added a little extra. All right. And then salt. And so when we wrote the recipe and the one that you ask your consultant for these recipes, they're all in a packet that can come to you. We did not have our daily grind wonderful salt mill that has 5 kinds of amazing salt. And one of them is called garlic paprika. So how perfect is that for this? It has already garlic and already paprika. It's just going to add more delicious flavor. So it's a grinder that we can switch out for other types of salt, lemon thyme, Parmesan basil, red wine, and curry coconut. Yeah,
Coconut curry.
coconut curry. Anyway, I'm a salt person, so I'm gonna put a bit of salt in here,
Especially with tomatoes.
especially with tomatoes. Salt is so delicious with
Brings
tomatoes.
out
It brings out all that delicious flavor, absolutely. Okay, and so there it is. We're just gonna stir in all of those beautiful ingredients. And we're gonna get some corn chips and we're gonna eat it. Yum, 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 yum. No, it's okay. All right. Anyway, so that is really it. And we'll put it in a pretty bowl. And you serve this with, we also have a recipe on our website, Teresa's website, Cook with Teresa. We have a recipe for homemade corn tortilla chips, which is delicious. And when we make those with this salsa, we get rave reviews. All right, so now who am I turning it over to, Teresa?
We're going to Sherry. I went out of order. My bad.
I know.
We were supposed to do Sherry
Sherry was
first.
supposed to go first.
That was my fault.
That's
So
all right.
Sherry,
All right,
I'm
Sherry,
passing
we're
it
gonna
to
go
you.
All right, take it away, Sherry.
Thank you, Tina. Wow, that looks really delicious. I can't wait to try it. So tonight I made a heirloom tomato tart in our tart tray. And I'm kind of doing it backwards. I made a tart earlier today and I'm going to show you how I unmold it. And then I'm going to assemble another one. So when you have a tart or a pie, you always want to just kind of peel it away from the mold. And I don't know if you can see, but how nicely it browned on the bottom and how easily it comes right out of the tart tray. And I did not spray grease, oil, or do anything to this mold prior to putting my ingredients in. And I think I'm just gonna reuse it without washing it since it's the same recipe. So, but this is the heirloom tart, tomato tart, sorry. So that's what it looks like. And I'm just gonna quickly shake out the crumbs so I can start showing you how to assemble it. Right. I went ahead and rolled out, I'm using pie dough. The recipe actually calls for pizza dough, but we are unfortunately out of our French pantry herb pizza dough, which is amazing, but I hear it's supposed to come back in stock early November. So I'm so excited because it is amazing. And the tart tray is a little bit bigger than a normal pie plate, pie pan or whatever. I think it's 9 the pie plate is 9 inches and this is almost 11. So the first tart, this one that I made, I used a 1.5 pie dough pre-made, and it kind of shrunk a little bit. So I'm going to try it with 2 pie doughs this time. And I'm going to, and I rolled it out on our roll pat, which is also part of a special, I think Teresa will probably be talking about that. It's pretty amazing. So I'm going to put the tray there, and then I'm going to put the pie crust over the mold. Oh, actually, and then I'm gonna put it on the perforated baking tray. This is what we use with all of our molds and trays when we bake in the oven. Perforated holes allow the heat to distribute to the tart tray to cook it evenly and brown nicely. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that on top of there. And then I'm going to go around and just kind of pinch the crust into the sidewell of the mold. And you can, like I said, the mold calls for, the recipe calls for pizza dough, but you can use pizza dough, pie dough, puff pastry. I think it all works great. And the amazing part is you don't have to spray or grease your mold prior to putting your dough in, which is so nice. No flour, nothing. Just kind of put it all in there. Let's get those edges up there. There we go. Okay. So next I'm going to put in 1 cup, well actually, so it calls for 1 cup of Gruyere cheese and also 1 cup of Fontina. And just a little tip, I put the soft cheese, which, sorry, I had it on my notes. The soft cheese in the freezer prior to grating it because it was soft cheese. And so I'm just going to put half in the bottom of the mold, mixed it up. But it's a total of 2 cups. So it's 1 cup of each. Okay, just kind of spread it out. And then next, I'm going to layer in some heirloom tomatoes or on top of the cheese. Some green ones, red ones, yellow. So fun. Let's do that. Okay. There we go. That's probably good. Also, I wanted to mention when I rolled out the pizza dough, I also used our amazing Beechwood rolling pin, which is also on sale this month for 20% off if you purchase a tray. So that's amazing. It's an amazing product. So then next I'm chopped up. I just roughly chopped. I didn't use our Eco Chop, but you could because it would do really good. But it was such a small amount. I just kind of roughly chopped it with a knife. And then I'm going to sprinkle that over the top of the tomatoes. There we go. All right. And then, so the recipe calls for our French pantry sweet basil oil, which is amazing, or you can use our garlic, or I think the Tuscany, but unfortunately I'm out of all of those. So I got creative and I just used 2 tablespoons of our EVOO, which is also on sale this month. If you purchase $100, you will get this for free. So that's amazing. This is such an amazing bottle with, looks like the Chanel bottle. Very nice. So, and then to that, I just added probably about a half a teaspoon of our French pantry roasted garlic and oven to just kind of spice it up a little bit. And if you can see, our herbs are amazing. They're dried herbs and they're like a loose tea. They're not like dust. So I did that. And then I mixed it up, put it in a little pitcher, and then I mixed it with our whisk, which is also on sale this month, in part of a meal prep package. So I just kind of whisked that up and got it all together. And then I'm just going to drizzle that over the top of the basil and the tomatoes. That. And then the recipe calls for celery salt, which you can add or not add if you're trying to watch your salt intake. But I chose to use the basil Parmesan cheese from our peppermill, which Tina was talking about that earlier, has all the different salts. And then you just put the one on top that you want to use. And like I said, this is the basil Parmesan, which I thought would go nice with this. And then you just sprinkle it over however much you'd like. Let's do a little there. And then lastly, we sprinkle it with the remaining cheese. Okay. And I baked mine, the recipe calls for 400, but I've kind of found that everybody's recipe or oven is different. So I actually baked mine at 400 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes. So there you go. That is pizza tart. And I'm so excited because I think this recipe can actually be used as a main dish with a salad, or you could also have it as an appetizer. So that's it. All right.
Oh my gosh,
Well,
that
thank
looks
you. And I think
amazing.
I'm going to turn it over to Rhonda.
Yes, thank you. That was
Okay.
so amazing, Sherry.
Thank you.
Okay, Rhonda, take it away.
Yeah, I'm so excited that the tomatoes are still at the farmer's market. So I'm gonna be trying that for sure. Because we're kind of doing this time thing here, I baked some mini meatloaves for you. I'm doing chicken parm meatloaves. And this is the part where I've pre-baked it, and then I'm gonna add some mozzarella to the top and then put it back in the oven for like 5 minutes. I'll show you at the end, and I'm gonna show you all the parts to it. But I just wanted to show you, and it's kind of interesting because you could put, like, see, I love this sliced mozzarella. You can use this and let that, here, let me get my little cloth here. Or you can use just shredded mozzarella. And then we're gonna put this back in for 5 minutes. And then I'll show you how to make everything. If you don't already have one of our timers, these are pretty awesome. And they just clip right to your, I love it. If you're leaving the kitchen, running to check the laundry, whatever you're doing, it gives you a chance. So I'm gonna set this for 5 minutes. And what I really wanna do is make sure that the mozzarella is nice and melted. So it might take another minute or two and we'll check it, but I'm gonna keep this right handy for me. So this particular recipe is like, it's interesting because it's almost like, you know, all the reasons that we love chicken parm, right? Well, this meatloaf has all those flavors in there, but you also have a wonderful meatloaf that's easy to store and to reheat. You can have individual servings. You can have it large if you like, but it just gives you a lot of options and you don't lose the impact of the flavor. So I'm excited. When I first saw this recipe, I thought, oh my goodness, I've got to try it. And I'm so glad I did. And you're gonna love how easy it is too, you know, we're busy, life goes on. So, okay, so in my bowl, I'm gonna just whisk in 1 egg. And get rid of that. And then as you watch me make this, just see how hard I'm working, right? Okay, so I whisked my egg, then I'm adding some panko crumbs. And I honestly, I wanted to show this. I love these. These are pork panko crumbs, so they're totally gluten-free. So if you're doing an egg wash and you want to have a crunchy panko coating that's gluten-free or extra flavor, you know how with meatloaf, a lot of times they want you to put pork in it? Well, just use panko crumbs. So, you know, the pork crumbs. So it makes it really nice. Okay, and then what I wanted to show you next is our different seasonings. And let me check here. I have, okay, yes, I don't want to forget this. This is our chicken herb blend. And this is something we came up with about a year ago. I always shake it both ways, make sure so that I have even disbursement. But as you can tell, these are beautiful. These are not powdery anything. None of our herb blends are. But it's just so good. And so we're going to put in, oh, and just so you know, make sure to check with the consultant who invited you, because we have the full PDF recipe for you. So that was going to be there. And then, okay, and then, let's see, I'm going to add that. And then, now everybody's talking about the salt and pepper mills. I won't go into it like crazy, but I just wanted to tell you, as you go on your special journey, you know, deciding what flavors you like the best, don't forget that when you have favorites, and that's with the salt or the pepper, like I love the curry coconut. It's just like my thing lately. I love it. But I like them all. So, but I tend to use more of this. So don't forget that we have these wonderful little refills for the peppers and salt milk. So it's just kind of nice to be aware of that. But in that, oh, one thing I wanted to tell you too about the chicken and meat and fish herb blends. One thing I think that's really important is, you know, a lot of times when you buy blends at the store, like, you know, they just either take over a dish or you know, you've got something fajita flavor for everything. I mean, you have to have a ton of jars. And I want to encourage you to think about investing in getting some of these, because here's the meat, here's the fish, and I just showed you the chicken, but they add a wonderful savoriness. And look at what's in this chicken. I just think this is amazing. So it has sesame, thyme, sumac, onions, parsley, oregano, black peppercorn, sugar, and marjoram. And the sumac, I started using that like a couple years ago. It's super popular in Italy and Sicily, and Middle Eastern countries. And I think it's awesome. It has this smoky, rich, tangy kind of flavor. It's almost like a little bit like it's a little citrus in it. I can't explain it. But what I guess my whole point is when Bangkok puts together these blends, there's so much thought that goes into what they do. So instead of taking over any of your recipes, they just enhance them. They make all your everyday recipes just taste better. And so it's kind of nice. And the more you experiment, the more you try, you know, that's great. And you might have already been doing this, but I did want to encourage you. Oh, oops, I guess I have to stop for just a moment. Okay, just a second. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I'm just gonna leave that there. And we'll talk about that later. I'll show that to you later. I don't want to steal my own thunder, right? But if you're writing down different products, you know, one thing that's really important to think about is, like, you know, don't make any mistake about, you know, the fact that, you know, when you're investing in things that are going to make the difference, it's going to make your life easier. And it's going to make all your regular recipes just taste better, easy without you having to buy the whole kitchen sink to do it. It's just pretty awesome. So just be thinking about, jot things down as we go out through the rest of the night. And then ask your rep. They have all kinds of specials. Teresa's going to go into that. So, get yourself started with, a really good foundation so that you can just keep going and going. Okay, so now let me see what's next. We have, I wanted to put the salt in. And this time, what did I pick? Or no, that's the pepper, sorry. I'll show you that too. Okay, this is the lemon thyme. That's the one I wanted to pick out. And the really nice thing about that, the lemon thyme, again, is it doesn't take, it just adds that extra wonderfulness. And I really like it. It's not good just for Italian. I mean, it just kind of lightens and brightens things. So, okay. Now, and I just wanted to mention again, remember, how to dial in for sizes. But if you want to, if you're trying to measure, sometimes it's easier just to measure right into your pinch bowl. I've seen people do it in their hand, or they turn it upside down, whatever you like, whatever is easy for you. The whole idea, right, is to make life easy. Okay, so there it goes in the salt. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my pepper. And let's see. Okay, and I have a little bit in there already started, so that's perfect. 'Cause you want just that right little zip, yeah? You don't want boring food, but you don't want to knock them off their socks, right? Okay, so then we've got that in. And then what I'm gonna do is add in my half of my Parmesan, and it's really important. One of the worst things I've ever done when I'm doing a recipe is think I read through the whole thing, but I really didn't. I wasn't paying attention, right? And so halfway through, they're like, oh, wait a minute, I put all the Parmesan in, and I was only supposed to put half in at this point. So this is just kind of a nice thing to think about. Okay, and then we have onion. And we have this little mini chopper. I just want to show you that for a minute, because I don't know if you guys like to use fresh herbs. I love to. I just love to. But like rosemary, it is strong, and as gorgeous as the flavor is that it gives, it's just so strong. It does take over if you're not careful. And you can go like this, whichever way you want, doesn't matter. But the beauty of it is, here, let me do it a little bit more. The beauty of it is you can get really super tiny pieces. And I love that because, I think I put my blade in wrong. It's not working the way I wanted it to. Okay. Well, I don't know if you want to trust me. Do you trust me? You guys all, do you know me?
I trust you.
Okay. I think I put the blade in wrong or something because it's not doing it. And this actually is fabulous. I mean, I'm telling you that, but what can I say? Itty bitty pieces, like a lot of recipes just call for like 1 or 2 cloves of garlic and some rosemary or thyme or whatever it is. And this is compact and easy and wonderful. So I wanted to show that to you. And so I want to move on. So the other thing is too, I could have put my garlic in there, which I was thinking of, but a lot of times with a recipe, it also calls like, it's not just garlic, but it might be onion as well. So I wanted to show you how I do that. So I like the garlic really super fine. So I give it just a little bit of a smash on my cutting board before I put it in the Eco Chop. And then this way, when I'm chopping it, it gets extra super fine. And I think, yes, we need our trusty rag, don't we? Okay, so then I'm gonna just put the lid on and give that some nice little whirl. And see how tiny and wonderful this is? I just love it. Okay, and then we're gonna add our onion. And if you noticed, if you see how I have my blades lined up here, you want to have the two silver blades together with the top blade. Okay, the other one is supposed to go around separately to keep cleaning the bottom. That's one of the reasons why this is such an effective tool, because it has a blade to clean the top and a blade to clean the bottom. And, you know, I think it makes all the difference. Okay, now I did mine pretty small, as you can see. I think I just wanted to mention at this point, you know, it's like, have either you have somebody in your family who's picky, or you have people that come over to eat that are picky. People are, there's picky people. And so this EcoChop is such an extra friend in that this is where you can go extra small and they'll never know what you put in the food and they're just going to taste how wonderful it was. They're going to be very happy. So just think about that. Or you know what, have your kids that are picky, have them do the EcoChop with you. Or because even though they're putting in things they might think, oh, because they were a part of the process, they're going to be really happy. So, you know, it's just kind of a cool thing to be thinking about. So we're going to add our garlic in. Okay. And it's so easy to wash EcoChop. I just absolutely love, this is the mini spatula. It goes in all the grooves. It's so cool. But I really love how you just add a couple drops of your soap, I love Dawn, and then some hot water. And then you put rinse out little bits that are left. And then put in the water, a little bit of water, a couple drops of soap, whiz, whiz, whiz. And you have a clean container. Now you can put them in the top rack of the dishwasher, no problem. But, if you have a lot of glasses that you'd rather not have to hand wash, it makes it so easy using the EcoChop. So just think about that. All right. So I'm going to put this aside for later. And then let me get rid of this too. I can't tell from my screen what you're seeing. I think you just put everything right up in your face. So hopefully you're able to see what's going on. But here I'm just adding in this. And now I'm doing a lot of talking, but do you get how easy this is? I hope you are. And if you notice the flavors we're putting in here, we're just loading in the flavors. So that's just so awesome. So at this point, now we want to add in our turkey. And so I'm sorry, I've done this twice now. I've done it with turkey and I've done it with chicken. And I actually really like the chicken the best, but the turkey was great. Okay. So when you're making meat, any type of mince, like beef, chicken, or fish, or what am I thinking? I'm thinking of our blends. But if you're making beef or chicken or turkey, any kind of mince, you want to be careful to just very kind of fold and stir, because if you pack this mince into everything else, then you're not going to have that wonderful, nice texture that still holds together. And, and that does bring another thought to my mind. Sometimes for some of you that like to wing it, when you're making meatloaf or something like that, there is actually a rule of thumb that you always add 1 egg per pound of meat. And that's going to help because the egg is the binder. So if you're guessing and maybe sometimes your meatloaf's falling apart and not behaving properly, then that's just something to think about. Okay, so that's all mixed up. Super easy, right? Okay, so now I have the 6 loaf, but I'm going to bake. So those are half size, which is kind of cool. This is the full loaf pan, which I think is just fabulous. And so this is a full size recipe for what we are going to be having you print out. We just want to put that in right in here. And because this kind of tends to shrink up a little bit, go ahead and just kind of move this along. and even this out. Now, I'll tell you what, this is going to kind of cook and bubble up. So you don't want these too full, so don't be tempted. Just try to make these bigger than those. And we're telling you, because this is one where you're gonna learn the wrong way. We have to clean out your oven, right? No, we don't have time for that business. So here we go. And we're just going to smooth that all out. Make sure you get it in the corners. So that's awesome. And then we're going to add our wonderful, now this could be marinara sauce. I absolutely, if I'm not making my homemade variety, I love this one. This is the closest to homemade I've ever tasted. And this is Raoul's, I'm not sure even how to say the name, but this is the roasted garlic one. I don't think we could ever get enough garlic, right? This is fabulous. So I'm going to put that all across the top. And then this goes into a 350-degree oven for like 45 minutes to an hour. And you want to make sure to use your internal thermometer, you know, checking the internal temperature of your food afterwards. It's supposed to be 165, but in reality, you're going to take it out and let it rest. So you could take it out at like 160 and still be fine because it's going to increase in heat as it goes. And here we go. I just wanted to show you what that looks like. If you don't have one, that's another. See, this is the cool thing on the specials again, which Teresa's going to talk about. If you buy any of the trays, you can get 20% off on all the tools, or most of the tools. Anyway, she'll tell you all the details. So this is ready to go in the oven. Now I'm going to show you again. I forgot something very important. Remember the other half of the Parmesan, right? Okay, so here we go. We're going to put that on the top. And now I need my little spatula back. These mini spatulas, I have like 6. If you're ever wondering what to get for yourself or anybody, these mini spatulas come in a set of 2, and they're just awesome. Okay, so just to let you have a peek of what that looks like going in. Okay, and then I will set that aside. I love the 6 loaf. I think I talk about it to everybody. And I was so excited about making this tonight because it specializes in the 6 loaf, which is so awesome. Now, what I tried to do here, and I'm going to move this over just a little bit. I hope you can see. I did 2 things. I have the sliced mozzarella, and I have the mozzarella that is just shredded. So that's again up to you. You can just have fun, whatever you have in your fridge, right? I think that's great too. But what I wanted to do is show you how you can actually, I'm gonna take one out. Just give me a second. Because I want you to see how great. I mean, you're gonna just be knocking the socks off of everybody. That's before they even get a chance to taste it, right? Now, because the juice is still in there, I think I forgot to show you. I like to use this chicken. It's 93% lean, and it's just so much better. So you don't have a lot of grease or anything, but you're still gonna have extra juice. So just go in very carefully. All the juice is going to stay down in the bottom. And then you have this gorgeous, beautiful loaf that you get to share with people. And so here, I have a little garnish. You know, whatever. Here, I'm going to get picky and that's silly. Because I need to go. I need to turn this over to Teresa and her wonderful cake that's coming next. Okay, so here we go. Just an idea, but have fun with this recipe. It's just delicious, and you can freeze it so easy and reheat these. Just a fabulous thing to do.
Oh, that looks so delicious. I wish I was there to enjoy that, but I've definitely had that recipe before. It's a winner. So I'm really excited. This is a new recipe that I actually just made for the first time last night, and it is also a winner. It is our Bon Cook French apple cake, and it is to die for. So first thing that we're gonna do is you're gonna start by chopping your apples, and I already chopped 2 in the mixing bowl. This recipe calls for 3 large apples. These are Honeycrisp. Up here in Washington, we have lots of yummy apples, and we're going into apple season. So I want to give you guys some things that you could make with all these apples that are going to be around. So the Eco Chop that you guys have seen many times for savory things can also be used for sweet. You want to make sure that your apple chunks are small enough that they're not going to get stuck in the blades. But look at this, you guys, you leave the peel on. Super easy, you don't have to peel the apple, and you leave some nutrition in there. So I'm gonna put the lid on top, and we're gonna pull about 6 or 7 times. You're gonna see how quickly and easily those apples just got diced up. Is that crazy or what? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put those in the mixing bowl, and then to the apples, I'm also adding 2 teaspoons of our traditional white balsamic. And so that is, obviously, you guys know, use something acidic, you can use lemon juice or vinegar. And in this case, we're using our traditional white. And so it keeps the apples from browning, but it also helps to soften the apples. And it also adds a little bit of tang to the recipe. So this is our traditional white balsamic vinegar that I'm adding to our 3 apples that have been chopped up. And this is so, I mean, look at all these apples. I'm gonna show you how incredible those are. All diced up. Can you imagine if you had to chop those by hand? It would be impossible to get them that diced up. If you leave the bigger chunks, then the apples aren't gonna get soft enough in the time that it bakes. So that's why you wanna use the Eco Chop and make sure that they're nice and softened. So now, while the vinegar is gonna sit on those apples, I'm gonna move on to the base of my cake, which I've already started just to avoid some of the noise and also time. And so what I've done here so far in my KitchenAid mixer is I have half a cup of butter with half a cup of white sugar and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. So I already whipped that up till it was nice and creamy. And now I'm going to add 1 egg at a time. So I already cracked them. Little tip, I've always told my kids, crack your eggs 1 at a time in your bowl so that if you have shells, you can get them out. So I did you too. We're gonna risk it here. There we go. I got 1 egg in. And then we're just gonna combine. We're gonna mix until that egg is combined. You wanna do eggs 1 at a time so that they're fully incorporated, but you don't wanna over mix your eggs, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead, once that's blended, I'm gonna add the second egg. Perfect. And then we're gonna go ahead and scrape down our butter, sugar, egg mixture before I add the next 2 ingredients. And while that's kind of, I'm gonna undo that. Okay, so now I'm gonna scrape my bowl. This is my heat resistant spatula. Also really great for scraping down the sides of the bowl, which is awesome. And then I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of dark rum and half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Those of you who don't know, pure vanilla extract is a must. You cannot use imitation. In addition to this, I'm gonna add half of our flour mixture, not all of it. The flour mixture is 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of salt. So I've whisked that up just to combine with our mini whisk. This guy is the most handy tool in the kitchen.
Yes, it is.
It is, right? So I'm gonna do about half of that flour and just stir until combined, until the flour is absorbed in with the liquid. You don't wanna overmix it like I mentioned before. And then the second mixing we're gonna do by hand and fold it in. So we're just getting this softened. You can see that the main piece of this recipe, you guys, is the apples, which is, I just love. It's such an amazing flavor that we've got here. So I'm just gonna scrape this down, and then we're going to fold in the rest of the flour to this mixture. I love having all these great tools to help with this. So now I'm just folding in the rest of the flour, which you don't over mix it and overwork that gluten. So you have a nice tender recipe. And then I'm gonna add all these delicious apples to the mixture, okay? And then this tonight, we're making in our fluted tart mold, which Sherry also showed you with the tomato heirloom tart. And that is one of our customer specials tonight. You can get this fluted tart mold for only $35. It's normally $46, so that's a great savings. So you can see, look how little of that batter I've got there and all of these apples that I'm adding. I just love it. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in all of these apples and fold them in. You wanna get every last drop of these yummy goodness. And so typically when you bake, I like a tartar apple, but the Honeycrisp is really a good baking apple as well. Actually what the recipe called for. So I highly recommend that. We've got a lot of those out here. So I'm gonna go ahead and fold those apples into this mixture. And then my fluted tart mold is sitting on my perforated baking sheet, a must for all of our flexible products. And I know some of you out there have been waiting for the small and medium perforated baking sheets have been out of stock. And guess what, guys? You can order them now. They're gonna be back ordered coming in the middle of this month. There may have been a delay with that brief port strike, but we're hopefully through that. But all of our flexible pieces sit on our perforated baking sheet. This is the large. I love it, as my friends Tina and Cecilia taught me. It leaves more room to grab onto when you're taking it in and out of the oven. But I know some of you, your large doesn't fit in the oven, so the medium and small are back in stock. They are coming real soon, so super exciting. So we're gonna go ahead and put this mixture in the fluted tart mold. Look at that, just slide right out. Yum, yum, yum.
Beautiful.
Oh my gosh, it smells so good, you guys. So then what's really important with this recipe is to press it in so that it's even. It actually doesn't rise a ton. You're gonna see my end result here in just a minute. And so you wanna make sure that it's level in the pan and kind of pressed into the pan before you put it into the oven. I absolutely love that you can leave the peel on these apples because it leaves these little specks of red when you cut into it, which of course you're gonna mute out a little bit when you cook, but you're gonna go ahead and press that in. And then I'm gonna put this in the oven. It's 350 degrees and it's gonna bake for about 40 minutes. And then, by the magic of television, I already have one done. So one of the tips I'm gonna give you, look how gorgeous that is. Golden brown, nice, beautiful tart. And then we're gonna top it with some yummy fresh whipped cream that I actually added just like half a tablespoon of the dark rum to it. So delicious. Okay, so if you guys have never made homemade whipped cream, it's the easiest thing on the planet.
Did you
to
add
make.
vanilla also?
I did not. I
Just
just
the
added
rum.
the rum.
Just
Just
the rum.
added the rum, and I literally added about 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar. So very light on the powdered sugar. So I'm gonna show that to you in a minute, but I want to show you our pastry bag stand and pastry bag of tips because these are so simple. I love the stand because I can put my pastry bag in it, then I have 2 hands to fill it with. I love our pastry bag and tip set because you don't need a coupler to attach. You just literally, yeah, if I don't, sorry. It's only my family eating it. And
Sit down.
so tip pops right in, and then you just make sure that it comes all the way through. It's not upside down. And you put it in the stand, fold the sides down, just kind of make room for it. And now you can have 2 hands to fill it, which is awesome. I love that, love that. So we're gonna go ahead and fill this with our fresh whipped cream. Again, super easy to make. And it
And the
is
best.
showstopper, the best. Like
Not
once you
like
learn
the
how to do
squirt
it, it's
stuff.
so easy. No, it's not the same. Tastes
Not
better,
even close.
easier to make, and more affordable. So we always have heavy cream on hand because my husband puts that in his coffee, and so it's great to make the whipped cream. So this is super yummy. So you can serve this plain. I actually love it by itself. I would say without the whipped cream or vanilla ice cream, that it's more of a great cake to go with coffee. Absolutely could be a breakfast cake, amazing. But if you want to take it up that notch to make it more dessert, then I would say the fresh whipped cream with some dark rum. We love going to Kauai, my family does, with my parents who are on tonight. And we love the Kahlua dark rum. It's so amazing. So would be amazing with this. And then also vanilla ice cream would be great too. And so you can just kind of go around and decorate this. We're not gonna eat all of this tonight, so I'm just gonna do a couple edges, but you can see how easy it is to just take it up a notch with this whipped cream. Put it around, and then I like to serve the whipped cream on the side so people can add extra. My boys do always. And so we can enjoy this cake. So I really highly recommend it. You guys can see it's super simple. It's made with ingredients almost everyone has in their kitchen. And so definitely consider making this. So we are a little overtime tonight. We usually keep this to 45 minutes. And we're now at 55 minutes. So I am going to not show the customer specials, but I do want to run through them real quick because we've got six amazing specials happening all month long. And so I really encourage you to reach out to your consultant or go into their website and see all of these specials for yourself because they are amazing. The Eco Shop never goes on sale, truly amazing. $40, an amazing price, normally $49. Honestly, I have customers regularly in the holidays buy them 10 at a time for gifts. Huge savings when you do that. I know you might sit there and think that's ridiculous, but let me tell you, when it gets to the holidays, you get to the weddings, you get to the birthdays, and you're going, oh my gosh, what am I gonna get? Well, instead of going and racing and getting them something that maybe isn't gonna get there in time, keep these Eco Shops on hand. It makes a great gift. And honestly, you're not gonna see them on sale like this again until probably next year. So that's a huge one. Then the other one that we have, as Sherry mentioned, is the small bottle of our EVOO. Any order, place a $100 order, automatically you get that as a free gift with purchase from us to you, which is really great. And then the tart mold special, we also have a really great special when you buy a 4T's tray, you get 20% off accessories that basically unlocks more specials for you, which is really exciting. And then our meal prep collection, which Rhonda showed, amazing collection, that 6 loaf trays in there, it's amazing. Definitely going to want to check that out. And then we also have a food bundle, which is great. So please go to our website or reach out to your consultant and he or she will share those with you. But I want to make sure before we sign off for tonight that we do a giveaway. And I was thinking that the tartlet tray would be great because with the holidays coming up, everyone's going to kind of be entertaining. And I feel like these are the type of item that you can never have too many of because then you can make multiple varieties of tartlets at the same time and chocolates. So don't limit yourself to tartlets. You can do chocolates. Great too. Really great.
Yes,
So,
yes.
yes. So I'm going to go ahead and spin the wheel. I'm spinning right now so you guys can see. These are all of our guests on tonight, and we're going to see who our winner of our mini tartlet tray is. It is Stacy Traxler. Congratulations, Stacy. We will get this mini tartlet tray to you. And thank you everybody for being on tonight. It was so fun to have you and for our great presenters. I'm so excited to go and try all these recipes and I hope you are too. So we'll see you guys in November and be sure to check out all those October specials, the bond rewards we have going on and the business kit as well. Have a great night, everyone. Bye-bye.